Hello and welcome to the third episode of Working with Esports here on Endzone's channel. For those of you who are new to the series, I am Mimi Svensson, also called as Lockharts, and in this series we will be talking about how it is to work with esports and what kind of different professions there are out there. So in this episode we are going to be interviewing Myra Byrom, Community Manager of PUBG Online. Welcome, nice to have you here.
Thank you so very much. I'm glad to be here. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome. So to start right off, what is PUBG Online and what do you do as a community manager there?
Okay, well, PUBG Online, it's pretty much in the title. We run PUBG tournaments online.
Okay.
So we host incredible games with incredible players. We have all levels of pro teams. We also have ways for new teams that are just getting started to come into the scene. So, we cater to all different skill levels we pay attention particularly to the more pro top tier players. And my job as community manager is to work with the community. So, scheduling any problems that they may have, complaints, working with their management team, and that kind of stuff in general.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Have you been working as a community manager before PUBG Online, or what did you do before that?
No, I've never worked as a community manager in this sense. I have managed. Most of my adult life, I've taught music lessons.
Okay.
I've also worked in an animal hospital, and I did manage at the animal hospital, but it's a completely different beast.
Yeah.
So this is very new to me. I love it very much, but it's still pretty new to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty new thing generally. So, like esports as a thing is a thing that you have to explore a lot, I feel.
It is, yeah. It's uncharted territories for everybody involved. There's not many. I mean, Counter-Strike has its foot a good ways in the door at this point, but for most people, for most games, for most genres and titles, it's all brand new. We're just kind of wading through and figuring it out as we go, which keeps it really fun.
Yeah. So, PUBG is one of the biggest battle royale games out there at the moment, which is a pretty new genre, but also the most popular one right now.
Yes.
So, do you feel like games like PUBG and Fortnite will stay in the competitive zone, like, for example, CSGO, or will it fade out because like it's still very new and we are exploring it as a competitive game? What do you feel will happen?
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I could tell you. I feel like it will stick around, but it's the viewers who will determine that. And as long as viewers are enjoying their experience, and as long as there are really skilled pro players that are willing to play for us, and for other leagues, then I think it has longevity, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as the people wants it, it will be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, yep.
Yeah, okay. So focusing a little bit more on you now, how did you even get into esports? How was your journey from where you started to where you are now?
Well, it's kind of funny when I think back on it. It started just with me being a Twitch viewer. I was just a mod in a few chats.
Okay.
So I was a little engaged in the community and say a little here and there on Twitter. And PUBG Online started, and they reached out to me right away, seeing that I was kind of interacting with a few of the people in the community, and said, "Hey, would you like to volunteer with us?" And so that's how it started.
Oh, that's really fun, though.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I volunteered for at least 8 months, I'd say, before it became a full-time job.
Okay, that's a really cool opportunity to get.
Yep. I feel like it fell into my lap, and it was an opportunity that I couldn't say no to. It was, if it doesn't work out for any reason, I'll be okay. But I didn't feel okay saying no to the opportunity. I had to see what it was about and give myself the experience, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's always like fun to try new things, and it's important to kind of broaden your mind to things, like open up to new things, try out.
Absolutely. And esports gaming in general is something that I've always been interested in anyway. So it kind of naturally works, you know.
Yeah.
I think if I had no interest in it in the field, that
Yeah.
it wouldn't be nearly as fun.
No.
So it kind of just the puzzle pieces fell together that way.
Yeah. But that's always nice.
Yeah.
So if you aren't really interested in what you're doing, the passion kind of fades away, and it kind of
That's
gets
right.
affected to the community itself. Like if you
That's
were
right.
just starting in esports as a business, I don't think that many people would like get into it.
Absolutely, especially people who are internet savvy. They can smell anybody who's fake,
Who's in
who
it for
is
the
just in
money?
it for. That's right.
Mm.
They can suss those people out so quickly. So if you don't have a genuine interest in what you're doing, they'll know. They'll know
Yeah.
so quickly.
Yeah, totally. So about Mainline, what's your position there? And could you tell us a little bit more about what Mainline is?
Sure. Well, I am the head administrator here. Also, I suppose I still retain the community management role. And so it's for mainline.gg. And Mainline will be doing similar to what PUBG Online has been doing, except across multiple titles. It'll also be like a website service, so we can host tournaments through it, have leaderboards, have the player stats and all that, just like our website has now. Also, there's like going to be a media aggregate there, so people from media can post articles. Your average Joe can post an article. You can have interactions through that. So it's kind of a community-based website for gaming of all levels.
Okay, so it's more directed at creating a good esports community rather than an esports team?
That's correct. Yes. We won't be, you know, there. I mean, hey, who am I to say won't be? You never know.
You never
But
know.
that's right now, our goal isn't to have mainline.gg org playing.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen on your website, you're building an esports arena in Houston, which
correct.
is actually very interesting. Whose initiative was it, and what's the idea behind it? What are your goals with that?
Well, our owner is Work America Capital. We're an affiliate group of them. And they're just putting a lot of trust into us. And like we said earlier, this is a new area. This is a new field. There's not a lot of statistics to back up, you know, this has been successful. This, you know, we just don't have a lot of numbers. We have a lot of predictions, but it's not really based off of just numbers. So they're putting a lot of trust in us. They realize that this could be an incredible place for fans to get together. An esports arena is very much so needed. I believe there's a few out there right now that are being built. And from what I've heard, at least, ours is going to be super special. Maybe I'm biased.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. You know how that is. You never know for sure. But in my head, from what I've been told, it's going to be amazing. The construction is just getting started, so I couldn't really say other than a big empty building right now what it'll look like.
Yeah, I was really curious about that actually, because it's really interesting when people take these initiatives and start doing that, because any other sport has its own arena. And you don't really see esports arenas, and doing just that might just make people more interested in esports.
Absolutely.
A little bit more passionate. Yeah.
We had an Overwatch viewing party here, and we had, I think, over 600 people that showed up with about 2 weeks notice. No, less than 2 weeks. It's about 10 days notice. So given that one example of a turnout, we realized, hey, you know, this could really work. You know, we'll have the ability to change titles, who's on stage. Will it be an 80-man battle royale competition? Will it be, you know, a 10-man first-person shooter? So we'll be able to have a lot of flexibility, have vendors, some really awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. I'm really looking forward to see the result of that, actually.
Thank you. Me too. I'm really excited. I feel in this regard, I feel just like a fan looking at it. I'm not the one
Yeah.
building it. Um, I am getting to reap the benefits and the hype and the excitement of it though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm right there beside you. I'm so excited to see what it'll be.
Might have to come to visit someday.
Please do. We can look. We'll get you room and board. Come on over.
We'll do. We'll do. Just let me know when it's done.
Can do it. Yep.
Okay, so what's the best thing about working with esports? In your case, working at PUBG Online and Mainline.
The best thing, for me, it's hard to narrow down. I'd have to say probably getting to interact with these incredibly skilled, sometimes young adults, sometimes minors. You never know how old they are. Sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's up to 30. But getting to interact with them and their passion for what they do is very inspiring to me. It's not a guarantee at any point for them that what they're trying to do will be successful. So they're putting everything that they have into this. And I would imagine probably getting laughed at by most of their friends and family and still doing it. And that's just so powerful to me. And I look up to it so very much. So I'm grateful to get to interact with these people regularly.
Yeah. I really feel you there, actually.
Yeah.
It's not often you meet as driven people as you do on, for example, esports events.
That's
They're really
right.
driven.
They really are. And it's not just like these are true athletes. I don't really know how to explain it, but I mean that it's just they're professionals at what they do. So some of them are more mature, obviously. They can be easier to work with, obviously, as they're more mature. They don't lash out as much. They know to kind of think on their words. And just kind of handle things a little more maturely. But yeah, they're all really inspiring to be around.
Yeah. So, what kind of difficulties have you faced while working with esports?
The same exact thing.
Same exact thing, yeah.
The people that I work with, the passion levels, right? So it's definitely a pro and con in that way. I definitely think of it more as a pro, but doesn't mean it's easy. It's just really inspiring to be around. And so if, this game is still new, right? On PUBG. So we'll have perhaps a team that drops a player right as the lobby's starting. And so they're down a person for an entire game. And as a human being, I can understand their perspective. As a person working for PUBG Online and Mainline, we can't restart the games over and over and over. We'll never finish. So, having that frustration come at you regularly because they're so passionate is sometimes hard to deal with. But again, I just remind myself, like, this is their life just as much as this is my job, this is their job. So I just have to keep that in mind. And if I get frustrated, kind of re-gauge and recalibrate, say it's okay. They can be frustrated. They have reason to be frustrated even. Listen to them and understand that, so it's definitely an up and down situation.
Well, that's fair. Like the impressions from society or just your family, like what do they think about you working with this? Like, do they fully understand what you do for a living?
Well, probably not. Now my brother does, because he plays games. That's why I grew up loving games, is because I have a brother who's almost 8 years older than me, so I could never touch the controllers. I could always watch. So that's why I love watching games so much, I think. But my parents, no, I wouldn't. I mean, they kind of get it, right? But I don't think they really know how to explain it to maybe friends and family. But that's okay. They can just say, oh, she works on a website, or, she I don't really know what they'd say. They probably would say, she works for the internet.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know how
that
it
is
is.
something that will take time, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so is there something that you personally want to achieve while working with esports or in Mainline?
I'm very much so in a place where I'm just kind of experiencing things. So I'm here for the ride. Um, and for the long haul too. So, not that I don't have a goal in mind, it's more that I'm trying to be as open minded as possible and get to experience these things, not say no to certain experiences that come up. Um, so, I guess the goal then, after a short period of reflection there, would be to get new experiences. Not so much like do this, then do this. It's more of a
Yeah.
do whatever comes my way, and get it under my belt and have fun while I do it.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a self-discovering journey, you feel?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any sort of advice for people who want to get into esports more as a business, like starting organizations or teams, etc.?
I would say one of the hardest things to learn in esports is to not get too involved with your, say, your best friend, or somebody that you're really close with, because you'll come to a place where you're going to have to make hard decisions. You have to make business decisions. It's just like any business.
Yeah.
It might not be the smartest thing to start a business with your best friend or to loan money, right, to your best friend, because eventually you'll have to make a hard call. And in esports, if your friend isn't performing as well as you'd like, you have to either maintain that friendship or make the smarter business decision.
Yeah, stay
Now, there are
professional.
some people, there's some people who can maintain both. Even if the team would split, the friendship would be fine. So that's great. But I think it's probably because you start out playing with your friends, so it feels natural to do that. But it's not. It's so much about teamwork. As you have to think of them as coworkers if you're trying to go professional. And they'll turn into your friends, but it's always a business in the end. You're trying to be the best, and if your friend isn't exactly the player you need them to be, or the IGL you need them to be, or whatever position they're playing in this sport, then they'll get cut. So it's stuff like that. It can be a little cutthroat.
Yeah, that's good advice, though.
Yeah.
An interesting point of view.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually it for my questions for this episode.
Okay.
But thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for giving your experiences and opinions. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I got to do this. This is out of my comfort zone, but that's why I said yes.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure someone will learn a thing or two from this.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's the thought of it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I hope you have a continuously great day. And for those of you who are watching, I'll see you in the next episode. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you want. Bye.
Bye.